Well, hello everybody. This is us, Human Design Geeks. We're back. It's me, Marta. This is Julian and William. We are back at doing our favorite thing, putting our minds and hearts together in the service of you all. So today I wanted to talk about the profile for one. Why? Because I am the 4-1. I am the 4-1 profile. And I was sharing with guys the other day is that this is an interesting profile because if you know anything about the human design, there are things that are called destinies or crosses, and they can be personal or transpersonal, or in the case of 4-1 profile, both. And as a 4-1 profile, for as long as I got into human design, I started noticing that no matter how much I was reading about my profile, it was almost, there was never enough. I could never find myself, my description, or how can I explain this? I never felt seen from anything I read, fully, truly. And it is a little bit how I feel in life too with people. I don't feel like I'm fully on the collective side. I don't either feel like I'm fully on the personal side. Somewhere in between, and sometimes that's a lonely place to be unless I'm with somebody else who can understand me, which is a small percent of people. So for my brothers and sisters out there, the other 4-1s profile, I wanted to bring in this discussion of this profile and explore why, because interesting enough, we have a personal and a transpersonal person here, and together we want to explore the 4-1 profile and see what happens. I know, Julian, maybe we can start with you. Maybe you can give a little bit of introduction into the 4-1 profile because you said you know a lot of 4-1 profiles. So you have me, your sister, and many, many others. And maybe you can start with giving a little bit a little introduction into 4-1 profile, and then we go from there.
Yeah, that's so interesting. 4-1s. Yeah. So maybe there are six profiles. I mean, there are six lines of profiles. First line is the foundation. It's like the need to become, strong, have strong foundation, the need to have foundation to build something on top. A little bit insecure, but then you become an expert into something that gives you the strength to have a house on top, to build a house. Second line, people with natural talent. My brother has like 11 second line in his human design. Sometimes he didn't study the whole year in college, and then the last week he just studied, but he was doing what he was passionate about, and everybody was freaking out, like, "Oh my God, so many people failed." And I'm like, no, he'll be okay. He's got natural talent. Even before I knew human design. Third line, you're in the first floor, you're like in your room, like trial and error, you're the scientist. Fourth line, you're in between the first floor and the second floor, the transpersonal and the personal. And basically the personal is really about you're doing your thing. You're going through life and you're a struggle. I'm a 1-3, so I'm, eternally looking to become an expert, learning from experts, trying it, trial and error all my life. And, that's how, I'm built to fail. So when I fail, I learn from my failure, unless I'm in my mind and then I screw myself up. But so that's the 1-3, the foundation. And then, so going through your own struggle. And then you're a 4-1, you're that in between the first and the second floor, the fourth. And then on the second floor, you have the the fifth line, which is like the messenger, the heretic, having like can get you out of crisis. He's just waiting for invitation to get people out of crisis. And then the sixth line has sort of three levels, which is like caterpillar life until 30s and 40s contemplation, and then using everything, yeah, like Willie, and then coming out on the top at the 50s and saying, "Ooh, I'm a butterfly," and then you become a role model. So in effect, William is a 6-3, so that's his destiny. He's got this little caterpillar, like, trial and error, but he's really here to bring something out to the public, to the collective, to a message. And look at you, you're a stage actor in theater, and that's what you're doing. And look at you, Marta, you're a 4-1. And you, in a way, that TikTok channel you have, right? You talk about your personal struggles and to your network, to your channel, like followers, and you have this need to speak out, transpersonal, about your own personal challenges and self-love and whatever it is, So that's what was coming when you were talking, and I thought that was fascinating because I'm just going through life with my struggle. I'm like, okay, head down, like do my thing. Willie is like, ooh, I have to play in front of people, bring the, and then he's really in his element. And then you're in your connection between us two, basically. So good luck.
Great, great.
Good.
Thank you. That's very encouraging. I wish I knew what to do with it.
Interesting. So good. Yeah. No, it's great what you t to tell you, and I think it's good for people who are watching and listening that you have a broader idea about the lines, because they're 12 profiles, right? So and the 4-1, what you already said is it is a very there are not many 4-1 profiles. Actually, to be honest, a 6-3 profile is very rare too. So, but like this this 4-1 in the middle of everything, in the midst of everything, it is what I love about your question is today is that the explore thing. So I love to explore also with you because of course Julie and I and you too we know a lot about human design, but I don't know what it is to be a 4-1. What I know about the 4-1 is that I read what I read about it, what I see about it, what I know about the lines. But it is just as a reflector, also being very rare. It is a kind of that thing. It's still like figuring out what does it really mean to be that juxtaposition, what it's called, right? You're in the midst. So I'm transpersonal and personal, Julian. So that is pretty clear actually. So for me, how I would see these things is personal is creating karma and transpersonal is resolving karma. And sometimes that sounds a little bit like something like the personal is something bad and the transpersonal is something good, but it's not the way. Julian is feeling it through him, so everything is going through him, sending out, and I'm living through people. So for me, I always know myself through others. And that sounds maybe a little bit weird, but it's really how I see life. I don't have a real feeling about myself in a way, but I always go through people and understand myself. And as a personal, you personally know yourself, you personally are struggling with yourself through and you send it out, right? So that's why the transpersonal and the personal is trying to create karma and resolving it, create karma and resolving it. So it's actually a kind of way it works. And you're in the midst of that all. So I don't know if I see something happening with you, Marta, but maybe that gives you a little bit more food for exploration here to
Yeah,
maybe have an in.
both, as you were describing it, I always thought that this, knowing yourself, exploring yourself through other people, I always thought that was because of the definition,
Uh-huh.
because of my split definition.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because you're saying that that's your profile, that's how it works, I'm like, that's also I've also felt like I'm not, and I for some reason I had a lot of people in my life, well, a lot, a few a few people in my life who, when I felt like reaching out for others, I was dealing with a person who are like, I'm a lone wolf, I'm cool on my own, I don't need anybody else. And I'm like, and I'm not like that. But at the same time, I do have this personal thing as you described it. There is an internal trial and error and learning and knowing who I am through that process, and the need to know myself through other people. So that's weird because you know, I was digging a lot into 4-1 profile because I felt like uh I don't know, I the first time I learned about human design, maybe say 5 years ago, let's say five. And the hardest thing for me to understand was the 4-1 my profile, because as I explained earlier, no matter how much I read about it, I couldn't really, sometimes you just read the thing and you're like, "Mm, okay, cool, cool," but you don't really resonate. You don't really see yourself there. And so it was, and I understood that, I understood that I needed to listen to many different perspectives, because each thing is simply an interpretation of how you understood it, and then you sort of you put it through yourself and out into the world, right? So, and you give a certain picture. So I needed to look at many of these pictures to get a broader perspective of this thing. Um, and one time I came across this teacher who whose focus was on the 4-1 profile because of the same reason. And she was describing her reason for starting this thing is because she also felt like this. She also felt like she couldn't really find this internal place of fitting in somewhere in this world. And I can relate to this so much. And I remember she gave a lecture about the 4-1 profile, a big one. And she used this picture that she used to describe the 4-1 profile. And there was a bridge between, oh, art. There was a bridge between this side, the left side, and the right side. The right side and the left side, typical girl. And a figure of a person standing right in the middle of the bridge.
Yeah.
And she was explaining that the purpose of this person was to walk people from the right to the left, from the left to the right. But this person always remains in the middle.
Yeah.
Not left, not right, yet both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a weird place to be. And that's why I understand right now the bridge that the 4-1 is needs, must build an incredibly strong foundation to stand on. And I understand now when a human design professional is telling me that there is a need for that security, and if that foundation is broken, it is incredibly hard to rebuild it. I went through that. It took me 8 years to rebuild, and I'm still somewhere. Okay, I feel like I'm standing on the somewhat firm ground again right now, much better ground. And from this place, there is this experience now that is expressing in both personal and transpersonal ways. There is this foundation that I've learned through this, falling apart and picking myself back up together. I learned a lot of things about myself, which then and practiced, right? And this is a lot for me. It is a lot about self-love. learning to love myself. And now that TikTok was a part of my self-love journey. That TikTok was an expression of my need to express myself, put myself out there, and try to put myself out there as truthfully as I could, because I've never really been able to be really truthful. Being a model, it's more like wearing a mask. And this whole breaking down process was all about, shedding all the masks. And the caterpillar butterfly experience, I don't know if that applies to my case, but for me, it has a very special place. I actually, I've created a brand out of that, out of my breaking up, falling apart and putting myself back up together process, 8-year process, and I called it a Marta morphosis, because that I related to that, to that, starting out as a caterpillar, can't fly, can't have only carrying the potential, but all you can do is this crawl, and then falling apart, and then unleashing everything that was the potential, that everything that was inside, right? And having to share that with others. I don't know why, just have to talk about it, know that it's important, and had to share about it. But I wonder, I know that I can't really go into any personal themes, people's stories apart from mine. But I wonder, from anything that I share, Julian, this is a question for you, and knowing and having maybe consulted so many 4-1 profiles, and being a synthesizer, anything that I shared right now, did it invoke anything for you? Do you have anything to share with that?
Yeah, actually, what came when you were talking is the need to have strong foundations. It's the one. And what is that foundation? It's an expertise. It's a passion. It's transforming this insecurity, and it's not. But it's not only that. It's like before foundation is your network, is your community. So if you need like really an expertise in a way to become uh, to speak of strength, and the 4 is like having the right network around you to really being able to influence that network. So that's what came. And my sister is a 4-1, and I seen it also. When she was not strong in herself, she said yes to please others, and then she took on studies and jobs and careers that satisfied some sort of like family pressure or conditioning, and then she collapsed. At some point she collapsed, she had a burnout, and now she's rebuilding herself just the same way as you did, which is kind of interesting because I'm seeing the same thing. So yeah, but again, I don't know exactly what it is to be a 4-1, but I know that with my sister, I just don't tell her what to do. She's a generator, so I try to just honor her, you'll figure it out. And then that's it. And be supportive and loving, and in that space, it's for her, she has to make her own path, her own choice. I think that's what came up. What about you, Willie?
Well, first of all, thank you, Marta, for sharing all that because yeah, it's personal also, of course. And well, actually, to be honest, almost the same came up for me too. So the foundation, the insecurity, that is really, really a first line thing. And I have a son who is a 1-3. And Julian is a 1-3, of course. And that first line is, to eventually get that foundation of something you really like, have passion about, where you really go into investigate. I always call the first line also people who like to study in a way, to read the book, to really go into material, and it becomes eventually the heart surgeon, right? It's like you become a doctor, then you want to go on, and then eventually you know everything about this part of the brain, right? That is a first line thing, and then you become the expert or the teacher or something about it. But when you build that foundation and you have it, then you are secure. Then you're like, okay, yeah, I got this. But when you're in these new things, so when a first line, I also have a girlfriend who has also a son. He's a little bit older, 1-3, and when he just went to football class or something, or and he don't really know what they're gonna do, or it's like it's immediately this insecurity about what is the foundation, what are we gonna do? It's like, and then when he have more classes and he can go in it, and he knows, okay, and he feels more safe, he has more foundation about it, and it's like, but he's always having this first, when there's new things, is always a little bit like, wait, I need to, and that's and what I know, what I learned about human design, and what I know with a son to having a 1-3, it is very important from the start of birth and going on to give him, to let him understand, and having the space to that foundation, and and know that he can be insecure, and as a parent not be in it too much of you should do this or you should, like, really give him the safe space to understand what it is, to know that it works for him, to create that foundation. If you understand that is the way he works, he will have more insecurity around it. And what will happen is that he will be raised more secure. That's why Ra, who always said human design is for children, actually, because then you can really, from the beginning on, you can understand how you are built. And you can imagine, and Marta, I would guess a little bit with your life, that the beginning of your life was maybe tough. And then, the foundation to start or to build on something, and you can understand if you have a young son, and you can immediately learn him how to use it well, and to already build this slow, strong foundation, that he will become more secure in that first line. So he will be a little bit further in a way to, I don't know if that's the right word, but that he already feels more secure in this way of working, instead of not understanding why he's always in the new things, like I don't know, leave me alone, let me do it myself. I don't know, this way of life. So that's what came up for me. But what I also came up for me is, I know your design, of course. So besides the profile you tell, you also tell a lot of things about your, you have so many individual channels, the channel of struggle, but also the creative role model. And maybe we can get your design with it, like you have the 1-8, right? So the
I
one
do.
eight, yes, and the 1-8 is all about being that creative role model. It's your individual process, the melancholy of that process, the 1-8, and to eventually just become the role model. And it's not about the role model, which I am, like a 6-3 profile. It is your individual struggle, your individual working of being yourself, the one. It's coming out of the G center. The G center it's always about love and direction, and the one is the first direction. It's the direction of yourself. In the 8, being the leader of yourself, being the creative role model of yourself. It's an individual thing. So I also hear that, when you talk, I also hear the channels. So I don't only hear the 4-1. But come back on the 4-1, maybe it's interesting to what I learned from the 4-1. So I don't know how it is to be a 4-1, but that Ra was always saying, because Ra is pretty, he was always pretty, this is it, like, no, but like really like direct, like this is it. And he said the 4-1, they are in the rails. They are always in the rails of something, of life. They cannot go out of the rails. Like a
Right.
train,
Fixed.
it's like a train going on that rails, and and they are on that, and they will not change the direction. It's not possible. You're in the juxta, you're in this middle thing. So you were talking about the bridge, and it is you're on that bridge, you're on that and you cannot derail. It's impossible for you to derail. In a way, that's how was he explaining it. But I can also imagine that, and I don't know, this the exploring thing. So, for example, let's take that it's true that you have your own, the in your case the cross of service. So you have this is your path. You are here to give the 18, 17, and 39, 38. So it's about um, um, uh, cross of service, about having the communities vital. Actually, you want to correct you see what needs corrected, to get everybody vital, to get the collective as a most vital, joyable thing, right? So that's something it's really important for you. So as a 4-1, being the community, being the network, being influenced on your community, have the foundation you've learned, you've been in there, you had the foundation for these community relationships, but also for being this cross of service, being in the service of giving joy, giving the correction, that if we go that way, if we change it like this, then the whole system would work as a great community, as a great collective, as a healthy, vital, joyable, and that's the rails you're on. So, and what Ra was saying, you cannot derail from that. So that is your purpose, and you are fully on that purpose. So I don't know if you're resonating with this. I'm very curious, but maybe it's good to explore that a little bit.
Thanks guys for giving your input. Very valuable. Definitely 8-1. I think you just gave me a deeper understanding into 8-1. 1-8
Yeah. And it's
tunnel.
unconscious with you, so it's red. So it's something you actually don't really can see for yourself.
And it made me think, question,
Yep.
between all the 4-1 profiles,
Mhm.
since we're both personal and transpersonal, does it mean that we have personal channels, all of us, or not? Or there can be a 4-1 profile with transpersonal channels?
Yeah, so the channels are not transpersonal in a way. The channels are or individual, or collective, or tribal. So these three are that is the
Yeah.
channels. But no, you can be a totally different 4-1. But so I think what you understand about it, if you are a 4-1 who has, for example, a cross of dominion like me, and is a projector, and and like has the channel of transmutation or cycling or whatever, then that is the real that person is on. So you are on the 4-1 rail of being that cross of service, being that creative role model, being in that rhythm, in that beat of your 14-2 channel, and this individual struggle, finding your purpose. So you're always busy finding something, finding your purpose, finding to be alive. So that's something you send out into the world, right? So that is your
Me specifically, right?
yes, you specifically, but
Yeah.
there can also be a 4-1 being a projector and being totally different, like the sister of Julian. I don't know, maybe you have your sister somewhere in this chart. I don't know, but
Yeah.
she will be a different 4-1 on the rails. It's not the same rails. You're on your own rails of this is your path, and this is your quality, and this is why you're here, and this is um,
So Ross says that, well, that's what's called fixed fate, right?
fixed fate. Yeah.
Fixed fate. And this is something I think I'm chewing on for many years
Hmm.
now, to really, really get a deep understanding of what does it mean, the fixed fate,
Uh-huh.
and what does it mean to be that bridge? What does it mean to bring people from one side to another? What does it really mean? I keep hearing it. I cannot say that I have a deep understanding, like I got it.
Uh-huh.
I cannot say that.
You
And
you
that feels like an important essence of 4-1.
yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, so I'm also figuring out, so because we're on this exploring thing. So if so individual channels, individual circuitry is here to empower others. And what I always thought about empowering others is that you do something like, oh, look at me, and like I empower you. And but the thing about empowerment is you are you.
Yeah.
And you cannot go your fixed fate. So when people are around you, Marta is Marta, and she is on this path, on this fixed fate. So you empower people. So if you see it as a bridge, you empower people being on that rails, doing you, being you. That is empowerment. Because when people look at you, they think, wow, that is interesting, or that is beautiful, or that is I can learn from that, or how does she do that? Why? How can be she's how she's so, how you talked about your personal life and being, and I was fully into you. I was like, wow, that was such a beautiful story. And like, oh, you empowered me and you empowered Julian with your story because you were like on your individual thing. You told about it and you were inspiring us. You were empowering us with your fate, with your fixed fate. And that is also maybe a kind of a bridge. You know what I mean? No, no, this is maybe uh, you know,
Exploring, like
exploring.
exploring, because when you're talking about that, my question is like, yeah, sure, but how does it connect the left and right? Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Maybe Julian, do you have a thought about that?
I mean, like, how does it serve to connect the left and right?
Maybe because your struggles and what you learn and what empowered within you by your the surmounting those challenges helps both the people who are personal, like me, like who are struggling. Oh yeah, that's how you do it. Oh, okay, I tested out. And the people who are here to get the word out. And they're like, oh yeah, and I know this girl, the Marta, she has a 4-1 and she was able to do, and then take this message, this energy. So by your presence, actually, this is what you really have to understand. You don't have to try because you just have to be you. And by just being you, which means listening to you, to that need for those rails, to be of service, to bring and just to be yourself, then you create magic because your aura brings your magnetism brings what's correct for you. So it will bring you, for example, when we connected, and it will bring you Willie, and then suddenly we're doing this, and then you're like, oh, I want this to happen faster, and 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 then I'm like, hey, hold on, let's go through the struggle, and then Willie is like, oh, I can talk about it, like like we, but the magic of it all is just to be you, like you don't have to try, and that's, I think when I hear you, it's like the mind is trying to do like the signaling. However, the signaling for you is that clear yes, uh-huh. And if it's not a clear yes, it's a no, it's like that's going back to the basic. It's like the clear yes. And it's not a yes here. It's a yes in the guts, or yeah, like uh-huh, like open, like I mean, of course I'm a projector, so I'm just amplifying your yeses and nos and maybes and you know, but that's how I would feel it because of course I amplify it. So it's like, uh-huh, ooh, clear, no pressure, no mental pressure, no stories, no, it's like, oh yeah, of course. It's just so clear. It's an evidence, like, oh yeah, of course. Boom. And then you're up working all day, doing things, you're feeling energetic. And then the mind will be like, no, no, hold on. It's too perfect. Let's find something to worry about or it shouldn't be like this. But that's the process. And that's what you're struggling with, and that's what you'll find your path, you know, your way.
Thank you, guys. What I'm hearing and what I'm noticing and observing is my personal case, yeah? My personal case is that somehow I think that I must do something, become, learn, become, do. And what I'm hearing from you is, and this is coming from like thinking that I must be something for somebody. I have a function to um perform, to do in the world. And yes, that's true, but also not true from the angle I'm looking at it, because I'm looking at it from the angle of, it's a lot like nowadays there's this culture of personal development. You have to work hard, push, 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 become, blah, 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 blah. These days I'm allergic to this, really, because I'm like, no, work hard, no, have a clear yes, don't have to work hard. It's all pleasure, it's easy. Yes, it can be a lot, it can even be exhausting, but it's all like pleasure, and I know myself, if I have a clear yes, I can do 10 hours of walking non-stop, and then when I'm done I can sit down and I say, whoa, I'm so tired. For 10 hours, I didn't feel it. Like, it just wasn't there. Is that hard work? Yes. At the same time, no, no. Because it's coming from a clear yes. It's coming from that space of like, wow, I have this, there's a fuel I'm running on. I'm not running on an empty tank. And so I was looking at it from the lens of like, work hard, become, prove something to the empty ego center, prove that you're of value, prove that you are lovable or worthy of love, blah blah, prove. No. Instead, you're telling me, or I'm hearing you're telling me, find what's important for you, be you. If you are a manifesting generator for one with these channels, find something that you're passionate about, go do that. Express yourself if you feel like expressing it. Just be authentic. And that creates the spark, creates the function, creates the bridge. So it's not like doing it as in creating something, blah, 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 to, because that creates a pressure of like, oh, am I doing it right? And I'm blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
No, don't need to do anything that isn't a clear yes, like Julian said.
Yeah.
Because then when there's a clear yes, it's doing itself through you. And that creates its own magic. It's not you doing it. It's doing it. Does it make sense?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
That
yeah.
that what you meant?
Well, I think yes, of course. But now you just explained, and maybe it's good for people who are watching and listening to this. Would you explain just the generator as a whole, and you're a manifesting generator. I'm just a pure generator, but it's true. Like what Julian was saying. Like you can come from the mind. So fixed fates. Okay, so I'm a fixed on this rails. Yeah. Okay. So then you come in this mind space of I'm not a fixed fate. I mean, what does that mean? Like I'm always fixed? Like no, I can be anything. Like you get in this mind space, and that is actually not important. The thing is indeed for you to respond on life, and that's particularly for you because if other people watching it and they are a projector and it's different. But for you having that sacral, so Julian is coloring in all these beautiful color. So like the not the red square anymore, but now the purple square. Like like the red square, that is a generator, and that is the clear yes or no, immediately responding on life. Uh-huh, uh-uh. As a man, Gen, you also have a pull towards something. Your body goes towards something, or it rejects. You feel like a rejection, and that is. And if you follow that every day, every time correctly, you're on your path. You're just on your path, and easy as that. And then it will flow. Then we can go on hours after hours after hours as a generator. I know this too because I've worked so many hours in my life, and I do so many things I love doing, and it's going so easy. But when I'm on a place where it's not really, and the yes was not really clear, and la la la, and then everything goes tougher and la 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 la. So and that is just as a man gen clearing, and maybe it's good to have the bridge thing because I was thinking the 4-1 is not the only bridge though. So as the profiles are explained, is that the bridges are always between the numbers. So you have the 1-3, you have a lot of 1-3s, and then you have the 1-4, that is a bridge to the 2-4. So the 1-4 is what Ra was explaining, if we all would live in the correct way with each other, then all the 1-3s and the 1-4s and the 2-4s should live, as a bridge, as a harmony together because the 1-4 can help the 2-4, and the 1-3 understands the 1-4, and then the 2-4 is again the profile who has a lot of profiles, and then the 2-5 is the bridge again. It goes to the 3-5, and the 3-5 are a lot of profiles too. So in the bridge, and I'm the 6-3, I'm also like a bridge. So the 4-1 is not the only bridge though. So, but for you, the bridge would be between the 3-5 and the 4-6, right? So you should be around it. You should be surrounded with a lot of 3-5s and 4-6s actually to have
Yes.
to be the bridge for these people, right? And to be honest, so my son is a 1-3, so I know already on that side, I'm this bridge for him as a 6-3 and to the 1-3. But my next child should be a 6-2, and then I can be the perfect bridge for my children. It's like well, and maybe that is also a good thing to as a bridge to. But if you are the 4-1, the 3-5 is like a personal. The 4-6 is in a way not fully transpersonal, but and that you're in between these things. So that's why your bridge is the bridge between the personal and the transpersonal. So that is interesting, I think, to think about maybe how that works.
No,
It's
interesting.
funny that
Right?
it's true that I do have quite a few 3-5s and 4-6 in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could see if you have a lot of other profiles around you, that maybe you're not on your right
I
path.
used to have a lot of 6-2s.
Yeah,
Less now. Less,
yeah.
less. Yeah.
Well, I know
Now,
it
So
was a joke, but
I should have more 1-4s around me then.
well, yeah, one
but
and
many,
6-3s.
6-3s and 1-4s.
Yeah. So that is the bridge you have if you and that maybe Juju is also why we are so naturally close from the beginning, right? There is this innate thing of 6-1 and 1-3. They are close, so they bridge up. So there is this kind of understanding somewhere being us, and I don't know
Six
how
three, you
that.
mean 6-3, and so you're the bridge. No, the
Yeah,
1-4 would be a bridge between. No, so how does that work? Because the foundation and you're on top.
yeah, I'm on top. So the first profile is the 1-3, but if you go
Yeah.
to the 6-3, you start again with the 1-3. So for me, close to
Okay.
1-3, it's the 6-3, it goes to the 1-3 again. So we're bridging, and on the other side I have 6-2s, and you have on the other side 1-4s. And for Marta, it's like the 3-5s on that side and the 4-6s on that side, right?
you're
You
looking at
know,
the
the funny thing is my sister, who's the 4-1, my father is a 3-5, and my mother is a 4-6.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
she was supposed to be the bridge, but it was challenging.
Yeah, but maybe she was the bridge though, even.
Yeah. Let me share.
Because when life is challenging, that doesn't mean you're not correct, right?
Gotcha. Like it was there. So this is
I
the
yeah.
prof.
Oh yeah,
You
you
know,
got
do you see it? Like she has like
Yeah.
the 214 like you, Marta, and then the 515, and that's the only two she has, and she's a nearly quad right, like three to the right.
Quite right. Can you explain this in the human language, please, Juju?
she's not a quad
It's
right, like almost a quad right.
nearly like so quad right is like when you have the four variables here showing the right side. So everything
Arrows.
about you is the arrows is on the right side. So it's like you're absorbing, it's your focus on the future. You're absorbing like
I'm a quad right.
William. Yeah, so you absorb everything and the quality of your experience depends on the quality of the questions of the people around you. So the
Yeah.
more good questions Marta asks, the better the quad right can go in his because he absorbs everything, William, and then he's like a well of knowledge. Like, he's just like, but he cannot remember by himself, but by the questions that are asked. So you ask super questions, and then it's like, whoa, I feel so genuine.
So true. This is so true.
Oh, I'm so wise.
No, man, I
But
can I can read a book and like literally the next day I don't know what I read. Like not even a sentence.
And this is
yeah,
to know, you guys, because one can feel stupid in this world, thinking
Yes.
like, oh, I read this book and this person got this whole thing out of it, and I
Yeah.
even remember anything. No, you're good.
we're all different.
Good. You
Yes.
just
Yeah.
need other people ask you right questions, good questions.
And it's still there somewhere, right? So it's but it's not that I can look, my girlfriend is like strategic. So she says like you said this last week, and then she can recall the exact words in the exact way of how I said it. I'm like, I really did I say this? I'm so sorry. I really don't know that I said it. Yeah, you said it last week. I said I'm probably, yeah.
This is so funny.
It is
Yeah.
funny.
So people with three arrows to the right and one to the left have still this quad right a little bit like flavor, like I have three arrows to the right and my strategic brain, so I'm absorbing everything, but then I'm trying to remember everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's my challenge in life.
So to be
So
honest,
yeah,
Julian, and maybe we go a little bit off track, but she has a 6 and a 36 in Sun Earth. I mean, gate of friction and gate of crisis. I don't know, but I mean,
yeah,
right?
that sounds like my sister. Yeah.
Well, but it's from the emotional center, even though she's not emotional defined. But
Mhm.
still, I know these 36 and 6 because Lisa also has it on the other side though, as a cross of Eden. But she's like the 6 and the 36. So what I'm now noticing about it is that for having that feeling, that spirit up, sometimes crises need to be made to have a change, and friction need to go. You need to like friction is going into like to like do this in this circumstances to discuss something gets out from it. And there's a result from it. But if you don't understand it, you will be absorbed in this, crisis friction thing, and it's personal, and no, but that's not what it is. It is you do it to eventually create something new from the crisis, to have that new experience from the crisis as the 36, only searching for new experiences. And the other six is what can be open, where do I feel open for or not? Like friction is this the right thing to get the friction on, like to open, like literally open up yourself or not, right? So that's, I mean, yeah, that's probably what she did also when she was younger, to figure out and having that crisis and friction. And if you don't understand it, your parents probably will do like, stop being so in your crisis and be normal, or, you know?
You hear that, sister?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
This was already a great exploring, guys, today. We went
Yeah.
everywhere, right?
What is your message to the four ones, guys? Both of you. as coaches, as guides?
As coaches and guides, well, I will start because Julian will end with even more beautiful words maybe for the 4-1. But
Ah, ah. You get me.
what I would say is like first of all, don't get annoyed by the fixed fate and the real thing. So don't feel like, what do you mean like fixed fate? What do you mean I'm staying on this track and I can be anything? You can be anything. You know, like don't be too mind bothered with these these words, and just let it go and be you. And the other thing is the first line thing, to really know that it for you it needs you need to have that security, you need to have that foundation and go into the investigation of something you really like to do. So if there's something you're really triggered or you like to explore, to investigate in, read the book, study it, go into it, and found that secure foundation to be eventually the expert or the teacher or the authority. What's the word?
Authority.
Authority in
Authority.
it. So that's what I would say about being a 4-1, and like the maybe the downfalls, and to be careful about that. And yeah, love your community, and be that influence of the network. Don't stop spreading out that network quality community, and also being an influence of the community, because you are here to say beautiful things about relationships and network, and that is why you're here.
So good. And I want to add quickly before Juju comes in, the quality of your network is the quality of your life. And the more you learn to love yourself, be in your truth, and live in your life, the more the right people will come to you, and your community will become the right community for you, which is
Absolutely.
so important for you.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Julian, now you have to.
Ooh, yeah, what do I okay, this is a message to my sister. No. And to the 4-1s out there. Just be yourself, like don't listen. And I'm echoing a lot of what you got both said. Introspect, become the expert of something you really love, and then influence, and then your quality of your network. And for the 4-1s who are generators, like my sister, Marta, no need to try. Just be. Just listen. Just let yourself guide it, not by ear, but by the gut. Or if you're a 4-1 projector, then good luck with the invitations. And just where it feels right, where it feels. And if you're emotional 4-1, take the time, take more time, take more time. And then just what feels clear and without pressure. And if you're a triple split projector 4-1, oh man, wait some more, connect with different people, and then wait some more. And then next year, when you get clarity, just know that it's coming to you. It'd be like, oh yeah, but that'll be worth it. So good luck, everyone.
Oh.
Thanks, Juju. Oh, something that you said that I wanted to also add about becoming an expert of something that you love.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me in that I've been exploring a lot as a man gen. I've been doing this and this and this and 10 other things, and will continue to do so. But but I know that living from my head, listening to this guy, I've done so many errors, even though I'm not a 3. I've done so many errors um, trying to become an expert of something that I do not genuinely love.
Mhm.
And it always ended up, I don't want to say a waste of time because I still learned from it. I still have that knowledge, blah, 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 blah. But always, always, always in the end, I knew it's not something I want to do. Even if it's easy, I don't want to do it. And in the end, there's this inner conflict where you're like, no, for me, it's so clear right now. If there is no clear yes, which for me, if I'm not enthusiastic about it, enthusiasm is my yes. If I'm not enthusiastic about it, it can be the most easiest, simple 5-minute thing to do. I will find 20 other things to do before I talk myself into doing that one simple 5-minute thing. Because my whole being is just like, that's how it feels. Uh, that's how it feels. So becoming an expert of something that you love is so important. And for me, it's something unexpected. I've become passionate, among other things that I can learn. Right now, I'm learning sewing, something that I was passionate about even as a kid. So now I had a sewing class yesterday, and we were doing some practice and we're doing some simple things, but I was like zoned in, and in the middle of being zoned in into it, I suddenly realized, oh my God, I love it. I could sit here for 3 hours making this pocket, and I love it, you know? And it's just, this is doesn't work. You can't logic it out. It's like, it's here, it's here, it's here. You can't explain it. You just love it. There's this enthusiasm about it. But another thing for me that I love to share, it's everything that I've been through, my metamorphosis process that I've been to, and learning how to love myself and learning how important it is to love yourself. And now I love to share this with other people, which is another reason why I talk these two into doing this thing, which I'm enthusiastic and happy about. And
Well,
thank you so much, guys. It feels like we are completed for today. What do you say?
yeah, I think it was a
Uh,
really great conversation, and we went everywhere. We explored, we had new insights,
I
and
think
you shared beautiful stories also about yourself and about, I think people will relate also to it. And that's what we want to do, right? With these stories, not only about human design, but also to become aware more as a person and to give self-love and compassion. And because we feel that for each other, and also want to spread that for the people who are listening and are interested in human design, but also in life in general. So I thought it was a great conversation. Julian?
yeah, and for me, I s- I'm 10 years learning this. I'm certified, but I still learned something today.
Nice.
yay.
So thank you both, and yeah, what a process, and yeah, it feels good. I feel seen and recognized. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. This was truly beautiful. I love your both inputs, and I loved how I could pinpoint some important things as a 4-1 from both that you shared. So interesting because Julian, you having shared as a 1-3, I had to pinpoint a thing that was more related to line one, and somehow William talking being a more people's person. For me, this is relating to being a 4, a community and networking person, and getting some nuggets from there. Truly loved it. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. As always, these two beautiful people are human design experts. William is coaching. Julian is been doing guidance. He's certified in business human design, right? Specifically. So Yeah.
BG5 consultant, yeah, for human design for career and business.
Career and business. I don't, why are you saying this?
Yes, let's the
Because
confetti
I'm
come in.
trying to get the confettis with no confettis. Somebody has hijacked all the confettis.
Right. So if you guys are looking for business related human design consulting, we have Julian here, and life in general, we have William here. And we will be leaving all our details where you can find William, contact Julian as you wish, as you like. And thank you for being with us today. And hope that you come back and share this passion with us next episode. Mwah.
Ciao.
Ah.
Aho.
Ciao. Aho.